Very good morning, namaste, namaskar. My fellow speakers on the dais, Crispin, donors, partners, team, WOTR. Sometimes the impression is that you are sitting looking at the dais, and on the dais there are people who know and who tell. But in reality, it's the other way around. You have to imagine that we are sitting in the audience and we are looking at you because you have the knowledge and you bring the expertise because you have lived what is Watershed Organisation Trust all about for 30 years. So I applaud you and I look up to you for the work, for the incredible achievements that you are bringing to the table. We are just looking up. I hope you heard some of what I was trying to say. It is giving me great pleasure to be here today. I had a wonderful talk with Crispin earlier to learn a little bit about this engagement. I think one of the fascinating engagements that Germany is bringing to this table is that today, even though it has been mentioned once or twice or three times, even if you look around in the entrance in the beginning of this gathering today, you're hard-pressed to find the German flag. You'll be hard-pressed to find how much whatever money, how much whatever expertise has been going into it, other than the enormous and incredible achievement that Mr. Bucher has brought to the table. And that is the secret of the project. And the measurement is not how much Germany has been invested. The measurement is what you have achieved, what you have done, how you have managed to multiply, to repeat, to bring to other areas, to other states, to other communities, what you have learned. And the amazing thing is not that this is a government program or a government investment, which of course is an important contribution. The amazing thing is that this is a community-driven project, where the people that are immediately affected are in the driver's seat, where women have a voice and are also in the driver's seat, where the benefit is for everyone. And if you look a little bit at the history of development cooperation over the last couple of years, you see that where we have started 30 years ago, is where we are back today. Even though we changed the names, we look at euphemisms of calling what we are doing, we're really finding that some of these early projects are the most lasting ones and the most important ones. So for Germany, for instance, what we've done over the last few years is that we've come to realize that we're not looking at economic and development cooperation with India. We are seeking a green and sustainable partnership with India. We are here as a partner, and our priorities are in a green and sustainable development of the country. So it's projects like the Watershed project, the Watershed Organization, that is key to this sort of a partnership. Now, Germany is looking at investing $10 billion in this partnership over the next 5 years only. There are projects that go into this green and sustainable development partnership that are covering renewable energies, which is very important and dear to Germany, where we have learned over the last years especially that it can be done to set up renewable energies and fire an industry with it and remain one of the strong economies in this world. Germany is now almost generating 60% of its energy mix from renewable energies. And just a couple of days ago, for the first time, the contribution of renewable energy to the grid has been 125%, so more than is even needed coming from renewable energies. So we share this dream that we can work together with India as a partner and work on renewable energies, green hydrogen, reforestation, urban mobility, electric mobility, looking at whether it's metro projects or looking at changing who is driving in the roads, how are these cars and buses powered, and what can be done. So in that sense, this green and sustainable partnership that we have will be, I think, one of the most prominent drivers between India and Germany over the next couple of years. We have a number of projects and we have a number of papers that go with that. And the German strategy, the German government strategy is very much involved in this. There's a focus on India, and there's an Indo-Pacific strategy. And in all these, the idea of a green and sustainable partnership remains with us and remains very, very strong. Now, we're in India. In India, we're in Mumbai, and Mumbai, of course, is where film is very, very important. And just last year, some of you may remember that we had the opportunity to remember 20 years of Swadesh, Shah Rukh Khan, coming back as a successful rocket scientist and engineer from America to work the land, in the country, in the village, the rural district, and to do as little as bring electricity back to a village. But realizing, and I think with him, a whole generation realized is, we do not have to look so much to the moon. And that does not mean that we're not proud of what is happening, and especially last year's space program that India has successfully engineered. But we need this expertise to be put back to where it matters, and it matters in the rural areas. So it's a welcome news to hear that technologies will be brought more into this field. Expertise will be garnered to work into this field. Remote sensing. Sometimes I think what we cannot see, we find very hard to understand. And I think it's particularly true for the air and the air quality, but it's equally true for water, watershed, and something that we cannot see on first hand. We see a barren land sometimes, and I think we had a very impressive number of slides that Crispin presented to us where there is a barren land. And can we see with our eyes how we change that barren land into a green, flowering, and blooming piece of land? We can because we know there is technologies that we can employ. We can because we know that you have done that. So I think we have to continue and go a step further. We have to look forward and understand. We can focus, bring technology to this. We can focus and bring new ideas to this. And the most important thing now is handing it to the next generation. If you look at some of the pictures 30 years ago, you see that almost all of these young gentlemen and women who were involved then have aged. If you look at the stage, the same is partially true, not for all of us. And the important thing now is to hand it over. And having spoken about films, I don't know if any of you have seen, there's a very interesting film, Conclave. This is about the church, and the church is also saying, don't judge us by our past, judge us what we are doing next. And in that sense, the Watershed Organisation Trust will be judged by what it's doing next, how it's reaching out to the next generation, how it is getting the next generation on board. And in that sense, I'm particularly pleased to learn that there are plans, that there are ideas, that indeed the Watershed is not looking just back, but looking straight forward. What else can be done? How can we go about it? What are the next steps of involvement? So that in that sense, we can bring the knowledge, we can bring the experience that you have garnered over the last couple of years to an even larger audience. And with that, I do wish the Watershed Organization, its members, the people that make up the organization, that put out the work, that stand in the sun, in the heat, that work the soil, the farmers, the people involved, all the best for the years to come. Much success to spread this project, because what you are doing is the thing that needs to be done, and it needs to be spread. It's a good story, it's a success story, and a success story that others can learn from. So I believe that we've seen the beginning of something that will grow and will become more important. It is also said that the future will be looking at the resources that we have, at the management of the resources that we have, and it will become more and more crucial. The money that we need to invest in this will be more and more. And if you look at the yearly annual statistics that insurance companies are putting out or reinsurance companies are putting out, it's full of natural disasters. It's full of floodings, rains, fires. And sometimes it's all of the above, just one after the other. And we tend to sort of say that, well, that's too bad again. As much as we sometimes tend to say that, oh, the air is bad, I can't see that much, it must be foggy. So I think we understand sometimes that something is wrong, that something needs to be addressed, but we fail to understand that it's us who needs to address it. In that sense, I think you have understood that because you're part of that journey. And I wish you all the best, much success for the journey ahead. Thank you so much.